王の始まりだぜ。
Today I'm going to talk about one of the icons of Japanese culture and one of the most famous anime of all time. The Prince presents Detective Conan. Conan is a popular Japanese manga and anime series created by Aoyama Gosho. Detective Conan is, as of the date I'm making this video, the third best-selling manga of all time. Third! And in a few years, it might even become second. It's a bit surprising to think that such a popular story isn't as well known in the West, but I have a few theories. Perhaps it's because it's a very long and mysterious story. The most famous anime are usually centered around action like Naruto, Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, or even One Piece itself. Detective Conan has a disadvantage when it comes to presenting itself to the West, to the world. Due to its focus on mystery, there is action in the movies, which might be why they sell like hotcakes in Japan, even rivaling Avengers Ultimate, but it remains mostly a local phenomenon. Come to see with me one of the most underrated series ever. So, let's the show begin! The story follows Kudo Shinichi, a confident and renowned teenage detective who is famous for solving all the cases he investigates, earning him the reputation of being the Sherlock Holmes of our generation. One day, during a date at an amusement park with his childhood friend Moriran, Shinichi followed two suspicious men after finishing up an investigation. What he didn't expect was that this decision would change his life forever. He witnessed a transaction involving money and drugs, but it was much more than that. While eavesdropping on their conversation, he discovered the exchange was about a mysterious drug still in the testing phase, apparently capable of killing a person without leaving any trace. And now, Kudo Shinichi was about to become the first test subject. Distracted by the conversation, one of the men in black struck him from behind, knocking him out with a blow to the head. The police were nearby and heard the noise, so the man in black quickly forced the drug down Shinichi's throat and fled the scene. However, the drug man to kill him instead transforms him into a child of about 7 years old. He decides to keep his true identity a secret to avoid causing trouble and to solve the mysteries of those men and find a way to return to his original body. The story is divided into saga, and in each saga we gradually learn who those men in black really are and what their plans are. Slowly, we go deeper down the rabbit hole. Within these sagas, there are key arcs or mini arcs, and after many episodes of slow investigation and clue hunting, we eventually reach the climax of each respective arc. The Detective Conan anime is filled with filler episodes. It currently has the same numbers of episodes as One Piece, and nearly almost half of those episodes are fillers that have no current relevance to the main story. However, this doesn't mean the series is bad, quite the opposite. It just means it's drawn out, which doesn't make it bad. I always recommend watching the anime, even if you need to look up which episodes to skip due to fillers, but I repeat, it's still worth it. Have you watched Gintama? Think of Detective Conan as Gintama of mystery. That's more or less how the anime works. The series has evolved into a franchise over the years, since it launched in 1994, with the anime starting in 1996. It also expanded to include movies which are non-canonical and act as an alternate universe for the series. So with this, I can tell you something. Detective Conan actually has 3 universes or timelines, depending on how you view it. Let me explain, and that's a very interesting thing about this anime. There is the standard Detective Conan universe, which includes the anime and manga, representing the canonical events of the story. This is the real and genuine story of Conan. Then there are the Detective Conan movies, which tell their own stories using the basis of the main canonical story. For example, if something significant happens in a part of the series, the movie will use that as a basis to create its own story. However, I've noticed some differences in this regard recently. The Conan movies are becoming more and more canon, including backstories that are genuinely relevant to the main series. So even if they are not fully canon yet, they are having some very important things that can't be ignored. For instance, movie 21 focuses on a character who is currently quite interesting in the manga chapters, so it's recommended to watch this movie because it helps with her characterization. What I'm saying is that the movies also help expand the lore of the series, and now movie 27 has literally revealed something canonical confirmed by the author even before releasing it in the manga. Yeah, Gosho is crazy. When should you start the movies? In my experience, I only started watching them around episode 800 and then I did a marathon. But you can start whenever you like, just be cautious with the more recent films from movie 18 onward as they contain spoilers. And lastly, there is a little thing called Magic Kaito. In brief, Magic Kaito features the rival of protagonist Shinichi Kudo, Kaito Kid, a magician who steals jewels and one Shinichi is interested in capturing. Magic Kaito has its own manga and a 24-episode anime series. Although the protagonist Kaito Kid appears in Detective Conan, the story and anime of Magic Kaito is a separate universe from Conan. Why? Because Magic Kaito involves magic, while Detective Conan is a grounded mystery story, so magic can't be mixed into the main plot. Because of this, the Kaito Kid in Magic Kaito is a magician who can use real magic, but in Detective Conan he always uses tricks, since magic doesn't exist in the Conan universe. That's why the universes need to be separate. The series has many captivating and memorable characters. It takes time to build what it aims for, but once it reaches a certain point, it becomes a masterpiece in my opinion. It excels in revelations and plot twists. The characters are well developed and charismatic. The anime starts becoming really good in episode 128 with the first major plot twist in the series, but the first 200 episodes are essentially a cast of characters introduction. For episode 300 onwards, the series begins to reach its peak, lasting until around episode 800. The story is perfectly interconnected, using elements from episode 200 in later episodes around 700. The way the author integrates the story is very well done. The Detective Conan universe is rich within a small box. Let me explain. For example, One Piece is rich in a big box. You have an entire world to explore, traveling to thousands of different places. It's incredibly ambitious, taking us to all four corners of the world. On the other hand, Detective Conan is rich in a small box. The story is mostly centered in just one city, Baker City, where most of the events take place. Sure, we visit other places as well, even other countries, but the world building and the story development are all grounded in that single city. That's a big achievement in itself, making something small feel deep and full, rather than building across a vast world like One Piece. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it's definitely something to be appreciated. Additionally, the series encompasses almost every genre: comedy, romance, drama, psychological, adventure, action, mystery. The author creates, resolves, and connects everything. It brings back the feeling of the 90s when it was released, through the 20s, and even into our current decade. This is one of the advantages of a series set in a world similar to our own. The difference of eras visible in the hundreds of episodes. This has left whether intentionally or not. Some arcs quite memorable due to their style, character design, and other animation. Casual. The world of Detective Conan is one of those where you could spend an entire afternoon debating and creating theories about the story. It's filled with details and mysteries to ponder, many epic twists, and a high level of suspense, particularly in the 90s and 20 arcs. The old grey tone of the series greatly added immersion and fear. What's the current state of the manga? It's a bit complicated. The author faced some health issues a few years ago and is now releasing far fewer chapters than before, like significantly fewer. He is skipping several weeks and the manga goes on hiatus frequently for months before resuming, so the manga has been stagnated for about 1 or 2 years in terms of plotline. However, it seems he's finally preparing something for this year. The current hype around Detective Conan is mostly centered on the movies, where all the marketing and production are focused, not on the original series, such as the manga and TV anime. To be honest, the last time I watched or read anything from Conan was in 2020, and since then, I've been waiting for more chapters and episodes to be released. Believe it or not, if I came back today, there still wouldn't be much new content for me. Detective Conan is a slow series after all, so you need patience for both character development and plot progression. It's something that doesn't conclude in a single episode, it develops gradually. There are even some episodes that are 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, or even 2 hours long. It's pure cinema. Don't be discouraged by the fillers, just use a guide and you'll be able to enjoy the anime truly. It's a very special series for the Japanese and for me as well. It remains famous to this day and continues to release new content. Unfortunately, due to health issues, the author has slowed down and is releasing few chapters per year, like I said. But one day, for sure, this story will end. It will last a bit longer than One Piece, but it's on its way to concluding. And this was an introduction and general analysis of Detective Conan, my favorite anime for almost 10 years. I hope you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. Now I close the curtains and the showdown.